Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. This is Coffee for the Culture. So, welcome back to Coffee for the Culture. I know it has been a few weeks, a month, and some change, but I'm back here, Sean Johnson, giving you a quick nugget to get your week started off. So, one of the things I realized was when I started these videos of Coffee for the Culture, these weekly devotionals, I never really talked about kind of why they're called Coffee for the Culture, and why is it a weekly devotional. So let me take you way back to the beginning of kind of how this started. So years ago, I used to go to a coffee shop after church on Sundays and really begin to reflect. And so the coffee shop, still one of my favorites in town, Donut Connection. Shout out to you all. Is really where this kind of concept began for me. Just the name Coffee for the Culture came from there. And then over time, I began to realize that it really meant something very spiritual. And then most recently, months ago, I read a book that was called The Coffee Bean by John Gordon. And it told the story of the need to be like a coffee bean. And this was in comparison to, being carrots and boiling water, or being a egg in boiling water. But the need to be a coffee bean, because out of all those things, the coffee is what changed the water, is what affected the water. Whereas with the carrots and the hard-boiled egg, the water changed what those two things were. And so I truly began to understand more and more that we, as not just Christians, but as people who claim to be and need to be committed followers of Christ, like, we need to be coffee for the culture. So in this verse, Matthew 28:19, again, it says, go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. There's been so much emphasis on the years of the need to go. And I think for many of us in our lives, we've gone. We're there. We are like a coffee bean. We're ready. We have been taking the time to soak up knowledge. We have been taking the time to pray. We've been, taking the time to fast. But we haven't been making. That's the imperative in this verse, actually, is make. Now it says tells you what to make disciples of all nations, but the imperative, that one word, make, not go. Many of us, again, have gone, but not enough of us have made or make. And so that's what Coffee for the Culture is to be about. Yes, it's the title of the weekly devotional, but it's a lifestyle that we need to truly live. As I say, like in this story, that when you drop carrots in hot boiling water, the carrots get soft and mushy, and they adapt in that way where it's not the same thing that you were looking for. It's not, you're not excited about that. And then when you drop an egg in there, yeah, you might get a hard-boiled egg out of some time, but that's still something that you have to still crack the shell. You still have to peel. You still have to do something there. And it's, again, for those two things, the water has affected that. The culture, think of the water as the culture, has affected those things, has affected the people that are in that environment. But then there's the coffee bean, the coffee grounds that when you let's think of it two ways. When you put the coffee bean in hot boiling water, like after time, that coffee bean is going to infuse itself and basically mesh itself with the water, and you're going to get coffee. Or you could think about it the other way, like if you have coffee grounds, and even if you take the water or the culture and pour it over those coffee grounds, you're still going to get coffee, a good cup of coffee. And so that's what we need to understand is that we need to be the coffee bean, the coffee grounds. So whether we go into the culture or the culture comes around us and infuses with us, either way, at the end of the day, you are still getting coffee. You are still making disciples. And that's where it is here. Let's move beyond the go and let's get to the imperative, which is to make. So that is what Coffee for the Culture is all about. And I can go back, time this back even to my time at Donut Connection. It's been so real because while I was there, I was able to build relationships with people, and I was able to talk about discipleship with people there, with even older people who could be my grandparents. I was still able to have conversations with them about God that even impacted them. And so don't doubt. God is going to get you to the place where you need to be. You can be obedient, and we are obedient at times, and we go. But now we need to take that next step in our obedience and make. It will require sacrifice. It will require discipline. It will require diligence. But trust me, it is something that's so rewarding. So, committed followers of Christ, let's go. But most importantly, let's make. Be blessed.